It has been some time now. We've all sort of figured out that Trump won and why and what's going on, but we're learning more and more. And wow, news to MSNBC, who still can't seem to figure it out. This, my friends, is a truly incredible story of how leftist liberal elites, white affluent liberal women, have no idea the struggles of the working class, and that includes white people and minorities. MSNBC star shocked to learn the price of butter as he tries desperately to reconcile Kamala loss. Now, I know you might laugh at this. You might be like, I know the price of butter. But this one is for all of my woke, liberal, affluent friends who don't. Chelsea Handler, sitting there saying, I wake up late. I don't need a family. I can do whatever I want. They're rich. Look at every single celebrity who endorsed Kamala Harris. You think they know how much it costs for milk and eggs? There was a really amazing post. I will say it. I will sing it to the high heavens. Democrats are learning the hard way that women buy milk and eggs more than they get abortions. That's what the Democrats' plan was? Abortion, they screamed, and it went nowhere. Joe Scarborough tries to say, oh, butter's what, $3? Micah Brzezinski's like, it's $7. And he goes, what? Listen to this. It'll blow your mind.
To understand that seeing ad after ad after ad in NFL football games saying that taxpayers were going to be funding transgender surgeries for inmates is not something that's going to play well in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania among men. Nobody's saying to be anything but kind to all Americans. This just had to do with responding to the ad and saying, hey, wait a second, that was Donald Trump's policy that they're attacking. But they wouldn't even do that because, again, they're afraid to offend, always afraid to offend. Somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, oh, my God, Trump's going to win. I go, why is that? He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, what everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying,
is
the $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What?
Some
Is
places.
it framed in gold?
Yeah, what
Okay.
kind of butter?
Depends on where
Anyway.
you go. But
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Well,
$7.
anyway.
Is it framed in gold? Why is butter $7? Is it framed in gold? Holy crap, my dude. Butter actually is averaging, it depends on where you are. If you include lower cost of living areas, it can be around $3. I don't know who he was talking to. But dude, in cities, butter is over $5. I don't know where she's getting that $7 number from, but it's really high. But did you hear the laughter? I got the hard numbers for you. You want to see the hard numbers? You want to see why people said I've had enough of this Kamala Harris, Joe Biden economy? I can't believe this dude. Someone comes to you and says butter $7 and he goes, what? Is it framed in gold? When was the last time you went to the store, my dude? This guy's salary is reportedly over $8 million. Let me show you those numbers. Before we get into all that, go to castbrew.com where coffee is $15. Well, you get a bag of coffee. Support the show. We got to do the shout outs, my friends, because Cast Brew, it is our company and it helps keep the show afloat. Become a member at timcast.com to join our Discord server and watch our uncensored call-in shows. The Discord server has tens of thousands of people. You want to figure out how to get involved? You want to make friends? You want to be a part of the movement? We've got a Discord server where you can hang out with like-minded individuals, and guess what? Tons of people have made friends IRL. You'll come in there and say, hey, man, I live in Chattanooga. Someone's going to be like, dude, I'm nearby. Let's go grab a drink. And then you're sharing the news. Timcast.com, support the work. But let me show you those hard numbers. This, my friends, right here from the Federal Reserve, the average price of butter right now is $5. I'm not kidding. In September, the Federal Reserve has butter cost per pound. That's when you go to the store and you buy that little box that's got 4 sticks of butter, that's 1 pound of butter. It's $5. And I know this because I go buy butter. You know, it's funny because people comment and they'll be like, shut up, Tim. We know you're rich. When was the last time you went to the grocery store? I go to the grocery store every week. I get my coconut milk. I get my half and half. And then I get my guac, my little avocado so I can make my goat cheese omelets in the morning. And of course, you can say, you're eating goat cheese omelets? Yes. But I also buy, well, I don't buy eggs because I got chickens, you know what I'm saying? But we get butter too. And we usually, I'm not going for the crazy organic. I don't know. I just grab butter. As long as the ingredients are butter, cream, salt, or whatever it is, cream, salt, I don't know. Yeah, it's $5. I've been telling you this. You know, you guys watch these videos. I'm like, yo, I went to get strawberries and whipped cream. It is ketogenic. You don't want to eat too many, but like one big strawberry is only a half carb with a lot of fiber. So it's actually pretty good for you. You put some whipped cream up on that, and you got keto dessert. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. You want a lot of fat in those keto diets. But I'm not a nutritionist, so you go talk to your doctor. I'm just saying, $6 for a can of whipped cream. $6. We used to buy these packs of salamis for our guests. We have them in the fridge. We have salami, cheese, and dip. So when people are coming in the green room, we're like, we got a bunch of different snacks. We got Cheez-Its. We got, M&Ms or whatever. 3 years ago, it was $7 a pack for like this big thing of little salamis. Like just like various flavors. Like, it's like you got the spicy one, the red pepper one, the garlic one. I remember this was like a year ago. We go to the store and I grab a bunch of them and we're ringing it up and it was like 200 and something bucks. And I was like, wait, this can't be right. And they were like, the salamis are now $13.50. They're $13. And I was like, what? They doubled in price? Now, I'm not sitting here being like, oh, no, it's so hard for me. I'm telling you, I go to the store and I can see the price spiking. And thanks to the work that we do, I am afforded the opportunity to buy these things for my staff. We stopped buying the salami. Dude, look, I stock this stuff up for our office. We're ordering these things. We get the spin drifts. We try to get low sugar, healthier options for everybody, and people love it. We get these coconut waters because it's good for you, and we're trying to avoid a lot of the garbage. Most of it's got plastic in it. What are you going to do? I see these prices. Joe Scarborough's like $7. What is it, framed in gold? That was it right there. Dude, how about I go to Walmart? Here we go. I chose Walmart in New York. This is New York, not New York City. Actually, you can see it right there. Let me do this. Let me actually give you the actual zip code. Because, let's see. This is basically New York City. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying not to get like Manhattan because I feel like Manhattan is not representative. But this is Valley Stream, which is basically Long Island, and it's the Walmart near the airport. So it's kind of suburban New York. It is $5.28 for a pack of Land O'Lakes. And if you want to go with the great value, it's $1 cheaper. It's $4. If you go on average across the board anywhere, the Walmart, not in New York, because I was like, here was my point. What is going on for Joe Scarborough when he's like, it's $7? When we're looking at New York City and we're looking at urban places where we saw across the board, there was a big shift in all demographics for Donald Trump. How do cities shift their votes in this direction? Yo, it's because if you live outside of New York City, you're on Long Island, and you're trying to get by. What is the guy doing there for work? He works on the train system. He works for the airport. He's making 15 to $20 an hour. He's trying to have a family, trying to pay his bills. Good effing luck. Your butter's $5. Dude, I was talking. There's this viral video where a guy he's like, I got 2 daughters. They're like 7 and 10 years old. I used to spend $300 a week on groceries. Now that $300 only covers 2 days. But let me, I'll keep it simple for you guys. Yo, Joe Scarborough is laughing. What is it, framed in gold? Is it framed in gold? My guy, $5 is the average, is the U.S. city average. Can I stress this? A butter stick per pound, a average price, according to the Federal Reserve as of September, is $5. So it's not $7. Maybe in New York City, it's $7. Micah's right. And he says, is it framed in gold? The dude is so detached from the suffering of the average person. And he's telling you to go vote for Kamala Harris. And they're sitting there being like, my guy, I can tell you right now. Let me give a shout out to Don Lemon. He goes to Atlantic City. And he walks up to a guy and he's like, who are you voting for? And the guy says, Donald Trump. And he goes, whoa, Donald Trump, why? And he goes, the economy, I'm getting killed. And Don Lemon goes, actually, the economy is really good. And the guy laughs like, oh, okay, buddy. Wealthy Don Lemon, who probably has someone buy groceries for him. I'll tell you this. Don Lemon probably buys his groceries. But I'm going to tell you what he does. He walks in with his little hand cart, throws the butter in, throws the cream, puts the eggs in, grabs some bread, walks up and goes boop, 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 scans his card, and he never looks at the price because he doesn't have to. So let me tell you. You say, but Tim, why do you look at the price? Are you trying to make a point here? Like, no, I look at the price because we have budgets. Because when I'm buying groceries, we're trying to track to make sure that when we get stuff. So I go out. I say, here's the stuff I want. I want my coconut milk. I want my half and half, because I do a little half and half, a little coconut milk, because you want to get the extra fat in there for your keto diet, right? That's what I do. Then I do my Jocko Milk protein powder. In the morning, I put my espresso, my Appalachian Nights Brutus espresso right on top, and this is legit what I do. I got a little shaker. You press a button. It's got a little blender in the bottom. Make my eggs. But when we go to the grocery store, I'm buying stuff for the office too. So I'll say, okay, let's grab like cheese and meat. Let's grab, jerky or whatever other snacks people want to eat while they're working. And we often do, like once a week, we do a big order of food for everybody. Unless Allison's out of town, and then I eat chicken wings or whatever, and I'm not eating as well. So that's all in my budget. I can see it straight up. I'm looking at those prices like, how did we just spend $500 on snacks for the office? That's wild, man. We're trying to have budgets and make sure we're not just wasting money and spending money, and I can see it. But you know what Joe Scarborough does? He probably just, he don't even look. I'm willing to bet Scarborough doesn't buy his own groceries. And it's not just about him being rich. I think it may be security issues as well. Like, he goes out, people might be yelling at him or something. Because I get that. I live in a rural area, so I mostly don't worry about it. Most of the people who are like, who recognize me are fans, and I'm not really worried. If I was in the city, I'd be a little bit more worried. But I got to be honest, in Nashville especially, depending on the city, like everybody's just like, oh, yo, what up, fist bump, and we're cool, we're cool. But this dude probably has somebody get the food for him. And that's why he thinks $7 butter is framed in gold. Butter is over $3. Actually, it's $5, my dude. On Thursday, the host also said Harris' loss was partly to Democrats being afraid to offend. That's true, too. Illegal immigration, the mass border crossings. Yes, they put a bill out there, and yes, that was good, but there wasn't anything more definitive on that. No, it was bad, and everybody knows it. You lied. That was something that concerned Hispanic voters. It's something that concerned black voters. That is something that concerned all voters. Scarborough said Republican ads highlighting Democrats' stance on transgender surgeries were successful in driving voters from Harris, and that liberals were too afraid to fire back at the GOP. But this is what they actually believe. He said they didn't respond to it because they were afraid to respond to it, because it might offend some small subset of their base. The thing is, nobody is saying to be anything but kind to all Americans. Okay, well, I tell you this. There's a viral video right now where Donald Trump is saying that he's going to end the gender surgery stuff. Everyone's sharing it. It's not new. It's from almost 2 years ago. When Donald Trump was announcing he was running for office again, one of his principal positions was the end of the gender ideology nonsense. But you know what? It's fine. I agree. But I'm going to put it like this. Look no further, my friends. If you're trying to understand what happened this election, and I hope all of you share this with a liberal you know, because they're right now saying things like it's racism, it's sexism, it's misogyny, it's transphobia. Cast that all aside. It's the economy, stupid. That's what we're dealing with. So when MSNBC is telling everybody to vote for Kamala, and you believe them, and Joe Scarborough doesn't even know the cost of basic goods that people buy every day, if you are an uppity, well-to-do liberal in some suburb, and you are watching Joe Scarborough and CNN, you believed it all. I'd like to give a shout out to our good friend Kyle Kalinske, who actually entertained. He said, my bearish prediction for Kamala is that she wins Iowa and Florida. He didn't say it specifically. He had a map. He said she's going to win every swing state, Florida and Iowa. Nobody in their right mind actually believed she could win Iowa. He said, what I think will likely happen is that she wins every swing state. Okay, no sane person thought Kamala would win literally every swing state. He said, my worst case scenario is that she wins 276. Trump maybe gets Arizona. The funny thing about it is Arizona, so he had her winning Arizona. Arizona wasn't a swing state. They said it is listed as a swing state, but by the time we approached the election, it was lean Republican. Well, it was not a toss-up, I should say. But he's watching MSNBC and CNN, and they're just vomiting into his face, and he believes it. And he was so insanely wrong. So you share this with your liberal friends so they can understand. Joe Scarborough is lying to people. Well, he's wrong. I think he lies a lot. I think many of them do. But I think largely he's wrong. He was just wrong about what was going on. He did not know. He said butter was $3. It was almost double that. So for regular people to watch MSNBC, I tell you this. Scarborough goes, butter's $3. There's probably a guy sitting there going, no, it's not. It was $5.29. I just went to the grocery store. I bought a 4-pack of butter for my family and it was $5. Imagine you make $20 an hour. You got to work. If you want to buy butter for the month and you have a family, 1 hour of labor. And look, I don't know, is a pound of butter too much for I think a pound of butter you're probably going to go through in a week if you have an average size family. So who can live off $20 an hour? No wonder they're saying we want a $20 minimum wage. Nobody can afford rent and food. And then these Democrats, these millionaires on TV who don't do their own shopping and don't know the cost are sitting there telling you, nah, it's fine. The economy is fine. That's the sad reality for so many liberals. They live in the suburbs. Maybe they come from a family that makes 100 plus. I'll tell you this. Trump won among working class voters. Democrats won people who made $100,000 or more. And I tell you this exactly why. Because the people who make a lot of money don't look at the price of butter. They don't. The people who are making above 6 figures go to the grocery store, fill up the cart and go, wow, it's $300 today. That's it. And the people who are making $50K voted for Trump. Because they're coming back from the grocery store and I'm like, I can't make ends meet, man. You know, when I was young, when I worked for O'Hare Airport, I was getting paid $11.75 an hour as an acting crew chief. I could not afford rent. I was working 40 hours a week. I could not, and sometimes with overtime. So it maybe came out to like 45 hours, 5 hours of overtime. I could not, it's mandatory overtime. So you don't get paid after, you could work 8 hours, but if they make you work longer than one day, you get paid overtime. And with my paychecks, I remember one day I had to choose between paying for my license plate registration, which was like, I think it was like $40 or something. I don't know, maybe it was 25. I couldn't afford rent. So I was crashing at a friend's house. A guy who worked at the airport had a house and he was like, we got a room in the basement. It's all yours. And I owed him money, but he knew I didn't have any. And I'm sitting here being like, how do I work 40 hours a week? And I have to choose right now between food or shoes. Fortunately, I called my dad and I was like, I need a loan. I need shoes. And he's like, well, look, you're working. At least you're working. I'll get you a pair of shoes. $30. Got a pair of shoes. And I thought to myself, something isn't right. I'm an acting crew chief. It's not a high level position. It's a second tier. It's like assistant manager. It means that if a crew chief is sick, you can fill that role, but you're not a crew chief on a normal basis. And I was like, I'm getting almost $12 an hour. I'm working 40 hours a week with overtime, and I can't afford my car. I can't afford my car payment, my insurance. I can't afford gas. It's impossible. And I don't know what to do. So ultimately, it really just fell apart for me there. I ended up quitting, ended up being homeless and living out of my car. The car got repossessed. It's a struggle, huh? I can't imagine what it must be like for the average working class person who knows these situations and says, every day, I am wondering how I'm going to pay my bills. And I am juggling between late payments, late fees, overdraft fees. I have to choose gas for my car to get to work or food for my family. I went to the grocery store and my milk was $4. I couldn't get whipped cream this time. No splurging. We didn't get the butter. We got the margarine. We got the margarine garbage plastic. It's garbage food. It makes your family sick and it costs you $1.50. And there people just wanted butter. Reminds me of V for Vendetta. When that character Evie is like, is this real butter? I haven't had it since I was a kid. How'd you get it? He's like, I stole it from the Chancellor's cart. That's the world they want to build. Where the powerful elites can get any product they want. They have the finest foods, fresh Wagyu beef, never stored in plastic, only in glass, shipped overnight, never frozen. That's incredible. The average person is eating hydrolyzed soy protein emulsifications called cheese. They can't legally call it cheese, but they'll call it American pasteurized processed cheese product. And it's going to be made with soy oil. And it's basically plastic. I go to the restaurants. I go to the diners every day. They don't use butter anymore. They're spraying the pan with hydrogenated cottonseed oil or some other nasty garbage, and I don't want to eat it. So I don't want to go to these diners. It's not real food. And, regular people are willing to eat whatever garbage they can, and it's making everyone sick. And then you get the wealthy elites saying, what's the problem? Just vote for Kamala Harris. Well, I got news for the Democrats. Go look at the prices and compare them from yesterday to today. And what are you going to see? Can you believe this? When Donald Trump was president, butter was averaging $4. Yeah, absolutely. But guess what? Into 2019, butter prices dropped. This is pre-COVID. When COVID struck, butter did drop down, but it was still lower. The moment Joe Biden and Harris get in, prices start going up. There's a dip. There is. And then look at this. It's insane. Butter prices skyrocketing. And then right before an election, they hit $5. I know. Butter. It's everything. So that's why it happened. My friends, smash that like button. Share the show with everybody you know. Go to castbrew.com. Buy the coffee. I know you guys love coffee. Check out Stand Your Grounds. Purchase Stand Your Grounds. And go to timcast.com. Join our Discord server. Make friends. That's all I ask of you. Make friends. As a member, you make all of this possible. Memberships are what sustain this company. We do have sponsorship revenue, but we're trying to, we try to keep it somewhat minimal, but we may actually start picking up sponsors because we want to grow. We want to make a difference and have an impact, and we can do it if we run our business the same as everybody else. So you buy Cast Brew coffee, you get a great cup of coffee, you help the company. Now, we haven't taken any profits from Casper. We invested all back into growing that company. When you become a member at timcast.com, you help this company, and I tell you this. The Discord server is where people come together. They make friends, they share ideas, and they build a movement. You guys rock. There's tens of thousands of people waiting who want to be your friend. Smash that like button, and we will see you all in the next segment.